dying. Can you practice what you preach? Father, 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 help us. People got me questioning, where is the love?
People killing, people dying, children hurting, you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, and some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love?
Oh, hello everybody. um, I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, bit of a different place that I'm recording from today. Obviously, thank you all for your nice comments and congratulations, etc. I hope that you can all hear me and that the connection is actually okay. Yeah, I've got all my setup sort of like computer and things. The only thing that I'm worried about is the connection here. So I have no idea how it's going to go, but I hope that you'll be able to all hear me okay. If you can't, just write a comment.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Hope you're all doing well. Let me just double check something. Yeah, bit of a different place that I'm recording from today. Obviously, thank you all for your nice comments. Hope you should all be able to hear me. If you can, just let me know. I hope that you can all hear me and the connection. So yeah, let's go straight into it. Yeah, I am like really stuck for time today, just because of like the situation. So it will be worried about, kept on time. My girlfriend's actually in a spa at the moment. Girlfriend, fiance. Need to get used to saying that. She's in a spa, so if you can't, just I have a little bit of downtime while I wait for her to get ready, etc. So let's go straight into it. Yeah, a bit of a different one today because obviously I have had so little time with everything going on to make like a lesson type of video like it was last week going over stock losses. So today is going to be much more focused just on technical analysis. That's something that I obviously don't need to have planned out, and yeah, it's just been ultra crazy. And with that said, yeah, let's go straight into it. So I'm going to be covering today for you all Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, and then I will do two on the stock market, which I'm going to do SQ and the S&P. So yeah, hope you enjoy and what we can expect for the week ahead. So let's start off first. I actually haven't seen anything that's been going on today, by the way. So this is kind of a technical analysis, really live. I have no idea really what's been going on. I've obviously seen a little bit, but I've done zero technical analysis over the last 24 hours. So yeah, let's see what's going on here. Let's go straight into cool. Yeah. Again, if anybody gets connection problems, or obviously I get a connection problem here, just let me know. And apologies if it does, but it's not kind of my fault. So yeah, Bitcoin. So looking here on a lower time frame, I really do think that we are just seeing this sideways chop, and this is a situation where I'm not in a trade, but just so you're all aware, I'm not in any trades at the moment. I've closed all my positions, so I am not in a position on Bitcoin. And to be honest, it's a situation where I'm happy to not be trading, because this is this is typical chop, a really hard chop that we're seeing here, with these higher wicks coming back down. This is like for you just getting taps on liquidity, and whales just getting easy taps of liquidity here, on a high side, getting a high wick to come back down, seeing people are going to basically like what we were kind of referring to. I'm not in a trade, but just so you're all aware, I'm getting a lot of music and hearing two of you. So I am not in a position on Bitcoin, and to be honest, it's has that helped? I hope that this has helped what I've just done. Let me move this over to this screen. Sorry everybody. Can you still hear me twice now? I'm really not sure why that's going on. Let me type, is it okay now? Yeah, I'll just wait for someone to reply. I've wrote, is it okay now? Okay, cool. Okay, sorry about that. I think it might have been because I had this. Yeah, anyway, I'm not kind of too sure. But anyway, moving on. So you can all hear me now. Yeah, so what I was. Not for me, not yet. Oh. I'll move on as the majority have said yes. I'm just really conscious for time today. So yeah, anyway, what I was saying here is that this is just. When you're moving sideways, that there are going to be people that are obviously trying to trade this range, playing breaks up, and playing the breaks down, really trying to swing trade. No sounds clear. Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of people have commented that it's okay now, so I'm going to move on. But anyway, what we were looking at here, over the last, literally, how long have we been in this sideways range now? Let's just give an exact time. We have been moving more or less sideways for around 17 days, okay? 17 days. And when we look at our volume, let's just zoom out a little bit here so you can get a better idea. Okay, so 17 days we have been in a sideways range on Bitcoin. Okay, this for me is a very much a sideways range, just a kind of is basically it's going to be either accumulation or distribution. I'm leaning towards that this is distribution and we'll get another leg down. Okay. whenever you get sideways movements, you want to be thinking to yourself, is this accumulation for a move up, or is this distribution for a move down? Okay, that's really what you need to be thinking to yourself when you're moving sideways. Are we looking at accumulation or distribution here? I will give both factors. All the biggest note for me is the declining volume. Okay, the declining volume. So if you're not aware that these lines at the bottom are my volume, let me just make it normal. I changed this around the other day, but you can just change it here from histogram to columns. I prefer it now actually looking at the histogram lines, so it doesn't take up as much space. But just so you're aware, this is the volume at the bottom. It looks a bit different, but it means exactly the same, and the information's the same. So yeah, we have obviously been, since our high of 4,241, okay, which was in fact just over a month ago. You can see how the volume, and this is really a really important factor, volume. You can just see that volume has just been dwindling down and going down and down and down. Okay, so for me, that is not overly bearish or not overly bullish for me. If I'm honest with you, I'm not going to be telling you all things that I don't believe. Okay, I honestly believe that this is neutral because a few factors. You have to be thinking we have been moving downwards. Okay, price has been going down on declining volume. Okay, that for me, the same as if price is going up on declining volume, I am leaning. I wouldn't be trusting the move up. Okay, and the same that the move has been going down. We have been making lower lows, lower lows on declining volume. It just looks to me like it is. Basically, it's kind of really neutral for me. This isn't overly bullish or overly bearish. Obviously, you have really no buying pressure here, but also you could argue that selling pressure is buying up. Okay, so who's selling right now? It doesn't seem like a lot of people because obviously the volume is so low. The same, who's buying right now? Not really anybody because the volume is so low. Okay. And I think that we will come out of this with a spike in volume. I will now show you why I do believe that we could be seeing accumulation here. Again, this is really important for me to stress. If we are seeing accumulation here, and I believe that I would lean towards we're seeing accumulation, and I'll show you why in a minute. But even if we are getting accumulation here, and we are to spike, okay, and we are to spike upwards on price, I am not buying here. Okay, I always would recommend. Again, this video is not financial advice, just to get that out of the way. But I would recommend, take out of that as you would, it's not financial advice. But I would always say, in a bear market, you've all heard the saying of the trend is your friend, and that for me goes with when I'm entering into a long position. I am not too interested in entering long positions. Okay, not too interested in entering long positions in a bear market. If we do fling up from here, okay, let's say this is accumulation and we are going to see an upwards movement, let's just say up to this resistance level. Okay, if this was accumulation and we bounce up here up to our next resistance sat around 4,000, if I am ever looking into a long position in a bear market, every time I will wait for that retracement. Okay, I will miss out on the original up movement. Okay, for me, I guess it kind of depends, but in bear markets, I'm generally more cautious, let's say, of entering into long positions. I'm not interested in catching a knife, okay? And this, although not as catching a knife as such, this buy would have been catching a knife, but I am more cautious entering into a long position right now, okay? Especially as it's just, again, sideways movement, okay? If we are to fling up here, I will wait for the retracement where we'd be seeing this as a 1, and then I'd wait for the 2 to come down and buy a retracement. Okay, so as it stands right now, I'm kind of influenced by me not actually being around in my house, but if I'm honest, but I'm not in any position here on Bitcoin. And personally, if we move down here, I've not got any positions placed, and I'll be actually back in the country. Hopefully on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. I've not bought a flight yet, but I'll see how it goes then, and hopefully we'd have got a break up or down. You always have to remind yourself that there's always another day of trading. There's always another day, and you're not going to miss anything. And you have to ask yourself, buying or selling right now in this area. I mean, what is your target? Always, 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 always. even if whether you're going long or short here, always stick to your risk to reward ratios. Okay, always. Let's say you're on the bearish side. I mean, if you're going bearish here, you know for a fact that this is what I want to explain here, that the going off of yesterday's video, so sorry, last week's video where we were looking at liquidity areas, okay, areas of liquidity, okay, that's a really important factor that you have to keep in mind when entering, for me anyway, that's really important when looking for stop losses. And you all know that the highest point of this move, I'm going to go on and give a bigger view in a minute, but I just want to explain what I believe is going on here on Bitcoin short term. So obviously we can see our low here of 3,405 and the high of this sideways movement of 3,784. Okay, so this is our range. Here's our low and here's our high. As it stands right now, you know, we're more or less in the middle of the move. Let's say we're reaching the center. So if you're looking for a long position right now, obviously you always have to factor in these risk to reward ratios. If you're in a long position right now and you have your stops here, well, it would not surprise me if we see a wick to the bottom, okay, just a wick to take out that liquidity before you move up. So then you are having to, you always want to have a stop loss placed when you enter a trade. Okay, that's really important that you always have a stop loss. And for me, what I'm trying to go to here is that the risk to rewards for a long are obviously really bad. Even if, you know, the lower your stop loss, and this is just an example of a tight stop loss, that still your target up to this area, up to the high of 3,700 is a very poor risk to reward, a trade that you wouldn't take. And likewise, the short position is again an awful risk to reward ratios. So I personally, if I was trading this, if I was home and I was trading this, I would wait for a break of these areas and actually get a candle close, okay? So not a wick above and a wick down, a move down with a candle close here, okay, with that candle closing. And then I will be more interested in trading Bitcoin again. Once we get a move out of this range with a candle close, because as it stands right now, it's just liquidity tap after liquidity tap, okay? We started here, and here's our stop losses. Then you get the liquidity here, okay? Then we obviously move down to the bottom side, get the liquidity tap here. And then you're in sort of a tighter range, where you know for a fact people would have been having their stop losses placed here, okay? Then that gets tapped, and then we move down below this bottom, and then that gets tapped. I mean, all it is just really high wicks, okay? During this whole, what did I say again? How many days of this is now? It's 17 days. It's just really not been a great trading environment. In my opinion here on Bitcoin, and that's why I really have avoided trading Bitcoin. Or it's just, you know, for swing positions I'm referring to. Yeah, you can sculpt really nice in here, but today I'm just going to be going over swing positions because obviously I'm not scalping at the moment. So I think it makes sense today I'll cover swing positions. So let's give you some swing positions that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Okay, just going to hide the volume. We all know that the volume's tapering down. So looking here at Bitcoin, I'm just going to clear up some of these lines. I want to explain to you why I do believe that we are seeing accumulation here, okay? Why do I believe we're in accumulation, okay? So, from the downtrend, okay, this is the theory of why I believe it's accumulation. That from this downtrend that started at 4,130, when this downtrend started, we obviously had this is on the daily chart. Downtrend, we then had this sort of doji candle, but really continuing the downtrend, and this is the main candle that you're looking at, where we had in that one day a 13% move down. So that 13% strong move down. Look at the volume. That was obviously a spike in volume, not massive, but a spike in volume on this move down, okay, was a 13%. And then what has happened since that 13% move down? Well, we have this to me, if I'm honest, looks like accumulation. Again, I'm not trading off of this, but to me, this is looking like accumulation. And if it was an upwards movement and it was looking like this, I would be entering shorts. The reason I'm not entering to a long is because we're in a bear market, and I am fine with missing out on the first, be it 5% of the move, okay? But why does this look like accumulation to me? Because of how we obviously, let's just repeat how you get this accumulation sort of line, and let's make this line yellow. Okay, so when you see this accumulation line, you are seeing a downtrend, okay? From the top of this candle, 13%. From the start of the downtrend, we are seeing obviously about a 15% move down. After you've seen that really strong down, this level is holding. Okay, we're on the daily chart, and we are now seeing 17 days of this level holding. Okay, there are just several wicks. Okay, here the level held perfectly. Here the level held. Here, obviously, we moved up the following day, held the level. We have then seen wicks down just onto this region, which for me, as it stands, really does look like an accumulation area right now. Okay. I have to look at this as accumulation, if I'm honest. I know that there are so many people, kind of likewise, to be honest, that are looking for the 200 weekly moving average, okay, which sits, last time I checked, at around 3,270, okay. Around, let's just say 3,300. Okay, there are lots of people looking for this area, but it does seem currently to me like it's not going to be hit, and we're going to get another movement up. Okay, that's how I would be looking at this, because I just do believe that this is accumulation that we're actually seeing right now, with no close below this level. Okay, if we close below 3,512, well then obviously that's invalidated. But as it stands, we've been 17 days holding 3,512. I mean, all this area is noise. If we're honest, this whole area is noise. We've been seeing the move up, the move down, the move up, the move down. It's just noise. So you get a very emotional traders in here, where people from the move up are thinking it's going back up to the moon. You see the move coming down, and people are suddenly thinking that it's going to be dumping. Okay, it's just really, really emotional traders in here, and bots. Okay, there is a lot of bots trading this space. Okay, I really think that this is why the volume's so low. There's very little human interaction in this space, in my opinion. But it does seem to me like this is accumulation. Okay. Accumulating off of what? Accumulating off the 0.65, 618, let me just draw that correctly, the 618 Fibonacci level. Okay, where are they accumulating? They are accumulating in this golden box, okay, the golden pocket. This to me is no surprise that accumulation will go on in this area, either, between the 618 and the 6.5, really this region, okay, this region that we're looking at here. It seems like it's, for me, accumulation right now, but really off of this box here of the 6.5 down on these lower wicks. That's the level it's holding, and it's holding very nicely. 3,513 is the 6.5 wick. I think I've said it enough, but I really feel that this is accumulation. Again, I wouldn't say buy into the accumulation if you're it all depends on your risk tolerance, but again, I wouldn't be buying here either, but I do believe that's what's happening. But the reason I'm not buying off of it, even though I believe that that's what's happening, is, one, I haven't got time to manage this trade, and this is a trade that you'd have to micromanage. To be honest, you have to be able to micromanage this trade. Secondly, if we get move up, I'll buy a retracement. Where would we be looking if we move up on Bitcoin? Okay, I think that we can really be looking to see if we're going to be making another lower high. There's a few areas you could be looking at here. Obviously, let me take it from the original, this move here to this move here. Okay, you just see how this, just look how perfect this trend line is, by the way. Okay, so from the swing high, which we moved up to a swing high on the 29th of November, and expanding that to the 27th of December, sorry. Okay, so you to do this, you take your ray tool. Okay, you use your ray tool, and you take it from the top here to the second high. Okay, this is a valid trend line. Okay, this is valid trend line. So you see a top here, expand it onto this top, then you see how on the 8th of January we rejected this top absolutely perfectly rejected it. Okay, got another strong movement down. What do I think's happening here? I do think that we're seeing accumulation. And where is the distribution target? You have to remember, if you're accumulating in this area, you are going to have a distribution target. Nobody accumulating in this area is just buying with no target. Whenever you buy, you always have a selling target, okay? Where would my target be personally if I was accumulating in this area? I would be targeting around a 382 and just between here and this trend line. Okay, this for me would be my personal target, lining it up here. Oh, sorry, magnet. Just lining it up like this. Okay. Here we're seeing, strong resistance. Here we're seeing support. Here we're seeing the trend line. It seems plausible that we can move up here, touch the trend line, and come back down. I mean, we'll see how this plays out over the next few days. That's how I am currently looking at this. Obviously, this could be invalidated going into the weekly candle close tonight. The first weekly candle, the weekly close that I will not be trading for a very long time. It feels weird not to trade it, but it's the first time I'm not going to trade it in a long time. But I am still under this believement that this is accumulation. This is going to be the distribution target, that we will come up, hit this, and then come back down. Okay, that's how I believe. Obviously, this is going to be invalidated if we get a close below 3,513. So a close below that, and that will invalidate this setup. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. And that's how I believe that this is playing out. Okay, and then we will go back, we will take off our Fibonacci retracements. Okay, and then we will see the possibility of this ending, as I've said many times, ending as this sort of descending triangle. Okay, well, I actually think we will end up going like this, but bouncing up off of here, coming down, touching the 200 weekly moving average, getting a bounce off the 200 weekly moving average, coming back down and breaking down. Again, this is how I trade. Is very much what's the right word? What's the word I'm looking for here? How I trade is reactionary, and that's my viewpoint now. But should we break above here? Obviously, I've always got an alternative setup going on. I'm not so biased to just one trade. I'm very I'm able to adapt very quickly and admit when I'm wrong. Okay. I actually have no money on the line on this trade, so it's even easier for me to say when I'm wrong. But I will be entering into a position whenever I'm back in the UK. I'll be entering into a position. It's just very hard for me to get into my exchanges at the moment. But here, I wouldn't be surprised to come up here and get rejected off of this trend line. Okay. Trend line again, the rate all from this swing high to that swing low. You can just see perfect rejection here. Seems like a nice accumulation period to be, targeting this area again. Okay, sat at around 3,000. Let's just say a top of 4,000 down to around 3,875. Okay, around this region for me would be a distribution area. Okay, this would be distribution for me, and what we're seeing now is accumulation. So is there anything else that I wanted to cover here on Bitcoin? Just thinking. There's always something that I sometimes miss. No, I don't believe there was anything else that I wanted to cover here on Bitcoin. I guess we can take a look where our EMAs are on the daily. Let's keep on Bitfinex. So when we were looking, okay, here we're looking at our exponential moving averages on the daily. You can see that the 55 EMA is coming down. Let me just see where we are on the weekly. Okay, that would line up. Okay, a bit too far ahead on the daily. I'm only going to refer again to higher time frames today. Daily 55 EMA, where I'm 100% sure we'll see a rejection from the first time. Well, 100%, 99% sure that we'll see a rejection from the 55 EMA on the daily the first time we try and hit it. First time we test it. You can see it was last tested back in the 7th of November and got rejected strongly. So, this area this is another top target area, and this is just leaning into a bearish bias. Okay, this is very much why I'm leaning to a bearish bias. Our EMAs are untested. Bearish is in a move up to get rejected from here. Okay, where you can be entering into really, well, I will be, if we get a move up, entering into really strong short positions, because I see the resistance being so big. Okay, I really see this as really strong resistance up to the top of that downtrend. 4,000. I see this as really, really strong resistance. Okay, and this is a trade I will 100% take. I will 100% take a short position here. Okay, here I will 100% be shorting if it moves up to this where I'm looking at distribution. I will be shorting Bitcoin without a doubt. Okay, I really, really will be shorting Bitcoin here. But as it stands, I'm not looking to long this move up if we move up here. Okay, I'm not looking for a long here. The only places I'm looking for a long is if we move down to the 200 weekly moving average. Let's just tell you exactly where it is. 200 weekly moving average currently sat at, let's just hide all of this, currently sat at Bitfinex here, 3,294, so it's moved up slightly. Let's just say 3,300. Okay, so 3,300 is obviously where the 200 weekly moving average is. Okay, so that's strong support. 3,300 Fibonacci levels off of this area. We obviously have already seen one bounce off of the 786, where we obviously had the exact bounce off of that number, but got a zero follow through. Doesn't look impulsive. Okay, this really isn't impulsive. I do believe that's why we're still in this correction phase. Okay, if you had bounced off the 786 and come up for an impulse wave, then that's a different story, but it still seems like we're in an extended correction in my opinion. Hence why I'm still looking at this bearishly. I don't see any impulse here. You don't get rejected like this in an impulse wave. So I'm still looking at this as an extended correction. And I think that's about it that I'll cover here on Bitcoin. I hope I've explained my targets well enough here of what I'm looking at. So just really quick overview here on Bitcoin before I move on to Ethereum. Bitcoin, not too interested in taking a position in this area. For me, the risk to reward is really, really bad. I'm looking where I will be entering a position. Okay, I will be entering a position, as you will know, off of that trendline resistance. Off of that trendline resistance that we were seeing, is where I will be. Let me go back and actually load it up. I'm losing myself here on so many charts. Off of this trendline resistance is where I will be taking a short position. Okay, that's where I will be entering into a short position. Okay, this trendline resistance for me is seeing a lot of resistance area. Okay, we were seeing the 55 exponential moving average on the daily. We were seeing that some potential Fibonacci targets, the 6.5 and the 7.86. We're seeing the trendline resistance. Okay, we're seeing horizontal resistance. So I'm looking only for short positions here, and the only long position that I will be looking at is the 200 moving average. Okay, that's sat at around 3,300, where I will be taking a long if we move down to there. Okay, depending on if I'm back in the country. But that's where I will be looking for my next two positions. Right now, this for me looks like accumulation, but I'm not trading off of this zone here. I'm not trading. I'm being very patient and waiting for my target to be hit here, or a target to be hit off the 200 moving average. Okay, as it stands, just to repeat, really, really bad trading opportunity in this sideways movement. And with that said, let's move on to Ethereum. Okay, so looking at Ethereum, let's start again on the higher time frames. Map out the most important resistances and supports here. So I'm seeing the first really big resistance level, $126. Okay, really big resistance, and then obviously really big support at $107. That's sort of your time frames. These are the resistance and support levels that you can be looking at potentially over the next how big is this range? Nearly 20%. You could be looking at this easily for the next 48 hours. Okay, so that's quite a big range, 20% range, but that's really support at 107, and resistance at the moment is 126. So then you take out your Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of this move to the top of this move, and you just see how this $107 level actually is not lining up with any Fibonacci support. But again, here we are trying to hold 618 as support, this region as support. I do believe that Ethereum will follow Bitcoin. Just seeing here on the EMAs. Okay, EMAs now acting, really strongly as resistance. You zoom in here. This is the daily time frame. Remember, rejection, rejection, rejections, rejections, rejections. This is looking actually more bearish in my opinion than Bitcoin. I think Ethereum is more bearish than Bitcoin. Okay. I really do think Ethereum is more bearish than Bitcoin at the moment. Looks like it. So we obviously here support $107. You will know that the potential head and shoulders that I was looking at here on Ethereum. Let's zoom down to the 4 hour. I haven't done the TA here in a few days, so let me just catch up and see where we are on this head and shoulders. So we were looking at here as the left shoulder, here as this head. The head. Okay, so you can see how we have really kind of just moved sideways out of this right shoulder. Still no close below that neckline though. Still no close below the neckline. I do believe that Ethereum is looking really bearish. I wouldn't be looking for a long position here. Let me just try and see here. So let's do an Elliott wave count on this together. So I would be looking at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, wave 5 coming up, taking out that fib retracement from the bottom of 1 to the top of 5. We obviously have already come down and tested the 618, and then you have to try and get a count here. I haven't counted Ethereum yet, so this is on the fly. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that would be a really, really bearish. No. ABC, maybe 3. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna see what the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. It's hard to get a bullish count of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. That could be an A wave. I mean, oh my god, how are we ending with a B wave here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. A B C. It's really hard to see a count in here. I have to. I don't want to break it down further than the 4 hour because I'm only looking at swing positions. Have to be looking at this as some sort of ABC, I believe, to start, and we're in an extended correction. That ABC, I mean, it goes way past an ABC target. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. A, B, C, D, E. Breaking down. Okay. 5. I really cannot see any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I'm just trying to make an Elliott wave count of this. It's not the easiest thing to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Let me narrate you through my thought process here. So when trying to make an Elliott wave count, and I never normally spend a long time making Elliott wave counts, and what a general rule that I follow is that if an Elliott wave count is not obvious within 10 minutes of looking at the chart, then I will move on to the next chart, because for me personally, it's not worth my time trying to make counts when they're not here. But just to give you my best shot at making a count of this, personally, I think it's very difficult. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have to be looking at this as in my opinion, well, you always have to go back. What are we seeing coming into this? We're seeing, impulsive down, and so this would be an A wave for your correction. So all we're looking to see is how are we going to get this correction? Are we going to see this as the A B coming down and a C coming up, or are we going to see a B like this and a C like this? That's what I'm trying to work out right now, just so you're aware. So obviously the A wave is definitely in, and now we have to be looking at what is this B wave. We have to be getting a B from here. So it looks 5 ABC for a 3, but that would be in short-term bullish where you're looking for a C up. Okay, we do see a nice target like this, if I'm honest, where you obviously have seen a coming down to and not closing below the 618 Fibonacci level, not closing below, but the target for me would be way too bullish. If you're looking at this as a 5 ABC coming down in a 3, and then you'd be seeing a C wave come up again. Okay, this for me is a bit bullish, but looking at this as a target, you'd be targeting around $190. Okay, $190, playing this as an ABC like this, A, B, and a C up to $190. For me, this is really, really bullish. I do not see, as it stands right now, Ethereum reaching $190. So this would be me playing with a bit of a bias, but you would have to try and readjust this account to see if we're going to be getting some sort of flat in here. ABC up for an A. there's not really a downtrend coming in here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then you'd be looking at this as an ABC coming down, A, B, C, or even if this was the A and the B coming down for the C, A, B, C. Let's just see what this looks like on an extension target. A to the top of the B. Yeah, looking quite nice. No, 1-to-1, literally at $84. I think this is my preferred count. Okay, just doing this on the fly. This would be my preferred count, and this would be the alternate count. Oh, excuse me. My preferred count. I do kind of need to do this in more detail, but my preferred count would be looking at this as an ABC flat, where we'd be first just have been seeing 3 in the form of this. Let me just write it all out for you. First, looking at this as the ABC into the A, ABC into the B, and then you'd be looking at a 3, 3, 5 coming up to form this C. Okay, so then you'd be looking at this as a 335 flat for me on Ethereum. This is obviously a longer term time frame. You can kind of get an idea of whether this is going to be right for that preferred account. Of if we break $134, I will be going long on Ethereum. Okay, that will be where I'm going for a long position, because it will invalidate this count, and I will go back to my alternate count of seeing it as let me just write it out. So my alternate count, not the preferred, but the alternate count of looking at that as the ABC coming up to $190. If we break, although obviously be clear that if I have a target here, I'm taking profits on the way up 100%. But that would be my, from an Elliott wave point of view, longer term time frame, that would be my target. If we break $134, if we cannot break $134 and we break down, then I will be targeting this double bottom region. Okay, the double bottom region for me would be my next target if $107 breaks. You obviously have to remember that there's $100 psychological support in here. Okay, so $100 is an area where you have to be taking. You could even be looking at this as laddering down into a long position, because this is obviously strong double bottom support. But that I would be. So just an overview on Ethereum again. I would be looking for a B wave on this alternate count of B wave holding, currently sat at around $107, the 618 region. Okay, moving up, breaking through 134, where my overall target would be $190. Okay, this is obviously going to be a longer term 1-2 month position. Okay, let's just say 1 month position, 4 weeks. Looking here for a longer term target of around $190. But you need to protect yourself if you go into a long position in a bear market. You have to be looking into supports, and I will explain how I will play this if I enter into a long position. Okay, what you want to see when entering into a long position from $134, you always want to have this sort of trading stop loss in place. I always will, if I'm entering into a long position, will be protecting myself very hard. And I will generally, on long swing positions, like trading off of the 4-hour chart. And what I'd want to see is the laddering of the actual chart itself. So it moves up slowly, making higher highs and higher lows like this. And if this is my stop loss, when we break here, I'll make our first retracement. Again, I wouldn't be buying a break here. I'd be waiting for that retracement down. Okay, I'd wait for that retracement down and buy. Okay, if we got a nice accumulation period here off this level, I would take my buy here, and then let's say we move up, and I am always going to be adjusting and moving up my stop losses with the move. Okay, you can be, when you're scalping, you can move your stop losses up on like the 5-minute time frame and just have your stop losses and keep moving them up as the price goes along. Okay, you don't have to have it on the most recent low. Let's say that the price was here, you can have it 2 lows down if you want a bit of a wider stop. As we all know, cryptocurrencies is known for its wicks. But that's the strategy that I would play here. And then if we suddenly break down, well, I will be ready for that breakdown. Okay, you see what I mean? I would be, always this is what I mean by like micromanaging a sort of swing position where you are having to actually have some sort of involvement. You can't just leave it for 4 months, leave it for the month and go off, because that would be kind of silly, I think. You have to be managing it in terms of stop losses, and if you get a breakup from 134, be moving that stop loss up. Okay, you could, I guess you could, if you want, set a trading stop loss and just let that stop loss trail up automatically. I prefer not doing that and having it on the swing low of the move up each time. So that's how I'd be looking for Ethereum bullish if we break up from here. If Ethereum breaks bearish and we break through $107, I would not be shorting into it until we break $100. Okay, until we break $100, I'm not interested in going short, and I am actually going to be entering into a long here. Well, again, I'm not going to just enter into a long with no confirmation, but if we actually see a sideways movement of $100, I'll be taking a long. I'm not catching a knife here, because as you all know, on the Elliott wave count, where we'd be looking at this as the alternative count of the flat, the ABC flat, okay, then that would be coming down to around this sort of $85 region, okay, $85, $83, this sort of region. So I'm not interested in catching a knife here, but that would be a position that I would be looking for a long $100. In trading, nothing goes straight down, okay. If your target is here, nothing goes straight down, and you get bounces on the way down, okay. You get bounces coming down to here. Nothing is going to go straight down to your target, okay? And that's why I personally would be looking at this region for a bounce first, okay? I think that there's enough support here horizontally. Okay, we're seeing this horizontal support, and we're also just seeing the psychological number of $100, okay? So for me, there's a lot of support reasons here to be entering into a long to get some sort of temporary bounce, okay, at least, where we'll be seeing like coming up here, bouncing up, coming up here, distribution, coming back down. Okay, that's how I'd be looking at and trying to see if I can accumulate on $100. I would obviously wait for confirmation on accumulation. I'm not going to accumulate on a spot which has got no confirmation. But that's how I'm looking to trade Ethereum, okay? Again, not in a position as we speak. I'm going to definitely wait for this to come to me on entering into a long here of a break in 134, while I'll actively manage that stop loss and just move it up and see how far it goes. That's what I'll be looking for if we break $134. Okay, and secondly, if we break down, I'm actually going to be looking for not entering into a short from this break. Okay, I don't want to be short in Ethereum at the moment. I'll be looking for a long of $100. Okay. And then if we come and get a bounce of $100 and then get a bounce up to $110, I will enter into a short position there. Okay, so this is how I'm looking at it. Here, this first break, not looking for a short. Okay, we come down, we get a bounce. This is all hypothetical, obviously. We get a bounce of $100. We then come back up. I will be closing that long and entering into a short on this support flip to resistance for a move back down for that double bottom. Okay, that's how I will be playing it if we break bearish from here. Okay, first entering into a long, that long up to a short, up to my short, back down for a double bottom. Okay, where I'll be taking a look at the time. Obviously, the risk to reward favors here massively a long position from a double bottom because of how tight your stop losses can be, literally. And if you get stopped out of that move, then you can go into, a short very easily. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Ethereum. Wow. I hope that was not overly confusing. Um, so what was I going to cover next? Tron. A coin, by the way, that I never ever trade, to be honest. But let's go over it. Daily time frame. Tron, and then I'll cover Square, and then we'll go over the S&P 500 if we have time for the S&P. Otherwise, my girlfriend will be really mad. Fiance, whatever. We'll be really mad if I go over on time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. This area I'm not charting here, so I'm ignoring this, but I'm just taking it from this high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're seeing some sort of really impulsive structure coming down to form 1, 2, 3, 4 A, B, C, D. Some sort of A, B, ABC possibly here, ABC in the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So looks like we've finished a strong impulsive structure down, and then we'll start with a correction. Okay, so we're on the daily time frame here. Looks quite simple as we start. So we are looking here on Tron, just seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, looks fairly simple. Let's move this down. Okay, we're seeing nice 5 waves up to start. Coming down, we're gonna have to break this down. We're gonna have to break this. Let's stay on the daily first. You have to break it down. You have to break it down. So looking here on the 4 hour. Okay, what are we seeing here? So on the 4 hour, ABC, clear as day. ABC, so that gives us an ABC to start with. 3. What are we seeing here? This is pretty ugly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But this is not an impulsive 3, is it? This is not an impulsive 3. So I'd have to be looking at this as some sort of 1 ABC again. Okay, so that would refer to me being bullish. Obviously, after the ABC, you want to see an impulsive structure up. This is not an impulsive third wave. For me, this is really not an impulsive third wave. We're on the 4 hour, and an impulsive wave 3 does not fail like this. Okay, an impulsive wave 3 does not fail like this. So this, in my opinion, is going to be a failed impulse, and we're going to see a correction here. Taking out the Fibonacci retracements from the top of the swing high to that swing low, of the top of the A to the bottom of the C. Wow, look at that. I honestly have not even tried this, by the way, but we're seeing rejections from the golden pocket. Okay, we're seeing rejections from the golden pocket. Would you be looking at this as a stall in the move? Not me personally, because I don't believe that this is an impulsive third wave up. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, the third is not going to fail like this in an impulse Elliott wave. Okay, it's not going to fail like this. So I am looking at this bearishly. What are our RSI like? Okay, RSI is went into overbought under 78. Okay, cool. Yeah, basically bearish. Looking at this as an ABC. Okay, if this is going to be an ABC, where did we reach on a target? Okay, just over the 1-to-1 extension, that's fine. So I would be looking at this as another ABC, okay, ABC here, which would obviously give you a WX and then coming back down for the Y, okay? So yeah, that's really, really bearish. That would be really, really bearish. There's obviously a massive move in here. Wow, 40%. Yeah, that's really, really bearish. I'm not going to lie. But this, for me, doesn't look impulsive. I don't know. Maybe you think this looks impulsive. I personally don't think this is an impulse coming up after an ABC. One, you know, the first wave, yes. Wave 1, ABC coming down in the 2. 1, 2. I guess for this to be invalidated, you know, you don't want to be jumping into your short straight away, but for an invalidation area, 1, 2, look at this. You just have to look at this area right here, 0.027. Okay, that area. Yes, you're going to move. I mean, you're not really going to miss out on a lot, that 10%, but then you can short from here for a really big, you know, 31% profits. Again, this is where you don't want to be like some sort of ego trader that tries to short every top and short and buys every bottom. Okay, trading is not about feeding your ego. It's about making the long-term successful plays. You shouldn't be worried about always buying bottoms or always selling tops. I would personally wait for the confirmation of this wave 1 going down, and then you can be shorting this so hard. Okay, I will be, you know, if I was trading this, I would be shorting this really hard, because I would see this as a confirmation that this wasn't an impulse structure and we've failed. Okay, and the failure is really easily donated as 0.027000. Okay, that would be a really, really nice short. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit nicer, 0.026801. 801, yes. of that 382, where this would be a really strong short area for me. Okay, I'd short that because currently at the moment you can possibly, although it doesn't look nice, still be seeing a potential 3 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just seeing a retracement here to come up for 3, 4, and ending with a 5. Okay, there's that potential. Oops, there's that potential. Although I wouldn't be looking at it like this. I'm not looking at it from the X, and we're going to be failing here. But I wouldn't be shorting in this area. This is such a volatile coin. You don't have to worry about missing 8%. Okay, there's an 8% drop here, but then if you short this drop down to even a double bottom where you're going to be looking at around 20%, is 100% in my opinion a much better trade than entering into a position as it stands right now. Or long, you have to think that this coin is really overextended. Currently gone back down. Yeah, no divergence. Currently gone back down into, obviously we went overbought today. Come back down just below and currently hovering at around 68. Looks like it's losing a bit of steam, but really hard to say. Anyway, I'm looking at Tron bearishly. I'm seeing this as an X wave, but again, look for positions around 0.026801. Okay, that's where I would be looking in for a short. I wouldn't be looking for a long right now. Basically, I wouldn't be looking for a long right now. After you've just got rejected from the 618 like this, okay, you've just got really strongly rejected from the 618. The move is obviously already overextended. Okay, there's already an overextended here. I'm well aware that that's probably news based, some sort of hype around this coin. I don't follow news. Okay, I don't follow any news when it comes to trading. But I know this Tron is one of the coins that there's always some sort of event happening. So it's likely that this is coming from some sort of event. Don't quote me on this because I honestly have no idea. But this is maybe there's some sort of news that has caused this to move up so hard. Not too sure. But you just have to, when I'm referring to it in overextended, you have to look from the bottom here. The move went up 219%, currently sat at 174%. This is such really, really overextended. Okay, I wouldn't be looking into a buy. As it stands here right now, I wouldn't be looking to buy here. Yeah, buy retracements. If you want to see a Y wave coming down, you can buy here a retracement. That would be a really nice buy. Where you see from here, you've obviously got a strong support area. Okay, you have got a strong support here. Again, there's opportunities for buys if you want to get into a long here. The most obvious one, if this level holds, okay, if this level holds, then that would be a good risk to reward buy, because you could have your stops so close that you could come down, buy, sort of catch a falling knife there, catch that falling knife off the buy, and then see if this level holds. And if it holds, then obviously that would be a good buy if you're looking to buy on Tron. I would wait for a retracement though. I personally wouldn't be looking to buy at this level. If you want to buy, wait for the retracement here, or wait for an overall retracement. It's so risky buying right now. Okay, I personally wouldn't be. Oh yeah, somebody said, yeah, Mark said there's an airdrop. Okay, so yeah, that explains. There's an airdrop happening for Tron. So that's why it saw such a big move up. Interesting. Cool, so that's hopefully explained Tron. I'll now cover the stock market. I'm going to go over SQ because it's my little baby. My favorite, honestly, this is my favorite thing to trade in the whole of stocks. It's my favorite stock to trade. Okay, really, really is my favorite stock. It's absolutely amazing. So I have a strong bias towards this. So I'm going to cover this all for you quickly because I see really, really good opportunity again on SQ. Okay, the S&P is a yeah, I'm not going to cover it here because I don't have the time. I can cover it next week, the S&P. But looking here at SQ, because I honestly see such a good opportunity here, and this is one that people could get in on. Not financial advice, do your own research, but I will be trading it. So we're looking here on the daily. Okay, this uptrend, honestly, this was such a good trade. It's amazing. But you can see here where we originally started off at around, February 2016. Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4, and Wave 5. Okay, let me just show you all why this trade was so good. Okay, and this is going to be a bit of theory behind Elliott waves and how just perfect it is. Okay, just trading off of Elliott waves, you could have been extremely rich. And all you're looking at here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where were you getting this wave 5 target from? I shorted this from $100, and I literally shorted the top one. It's a psychological level. What else did we have at $100? You're taking your Fibonacci extension from the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3 to the bottom of wave 4. Look at it. Just look at that. Where you hit a 1618 Fibonacci extension, you hit the 1618 Fibonacci extension for $100. $100 is a really strong psychological level. Okay, we're talking about a really strong psychological level of $100. Obviously, that's, you're going to see a retracement off of $100. Wow, 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 the retracement that we obviously saw. Obviously, we saw the retracement on the whole of the tech sector. The whole tech sector saw that retracement. Well, the whole stock market really saw that retracement. But just what a time to top out of that 1618. This was literally the most perfect short you could have ever done. Okay, literally the most perfect short. And that's sort of 50% retracement. Okay, what did we see coming down after hitting $100? It found really strong support on the top of wave 3. Okay, so wave 3, you have to be looking at this psychological levels really. Wave 3 ended at around $49.56. You'd be silly to be not buying off of $50 in my opinion in this area. Okay, what did we bottom out at? We bottomed out at $49. I cannot see the price. $49.82. I mean, that on itself is a massive buy signal. But then you add in here, what are we seeing here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for an A. 1, 2, 3 up in for the B. Okay, you are going to have to make this on a bit of a smaller time frame, but I'll tell you now that it's in of a 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1. Oh God. Yeah, you are going to have to zoom into a lower time. Should I just do it? Let's just do it. So we were seeing here of you again. This is on a lower time frame that you have to see this B wave that I'm referring to here. Sorry, of the ABC in this candle. There is an ABC in here. I didn't really want to go over this in so much detail. Yeah, I have not long left. I'm not going to go down any lower than the hour, but there is the ABC in here. Just believe me. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in the C. Okay, and you can get 3 waves in the B, in the 2 there. Just trust me that you can. I don't have time to go through this, but basically it was a 535 ABC coming down. Okay, and then what have we seen here? Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit now. Okay, so we obviously saw the wave 3 hitting the 1618 extension target absolutely perfectly. It then got a 50% retracement down to the coming down in an ABC, hitting around $50. And this is what I mean by an impulsive start of an impulsive structure up, where it really come up very nicely, bouncing off of $50. Excuse me, for a 1, 2, 3, 4. And now what I see, which I will 100% be trading. I will 100% be trading this. Is coming up for a final 5th wave. Okay, let's take out our Fibonacci extensions. Okay, so I'm looking at here from the bottom of 1 to the top of 1 to the bottom of 2. Okay, 3. Falling just shy of the 2618. If you don't know, this is a stock that I shorted really perfectly. I didn't get my top orders filled, which is the only drawback, but I still had my first short filled. We didn't quite reach the 2618, which was a little bit of a shame, but we still pulled back anyway for wave 4. Okay, and now what do I see happening is this wave 5 coming up. Okay, I do believe that we are going to see this pullback on wave 5. Okay, I am actually, the way that I am trading this, don't blindly follow me, but the way I'm trading this is laddering shorts between $80 and a top of 86. This area I am going to be really strongly shorting SQ, okay, just because I do believe it's due a bigger overall pullback now. Okay, this is a, you know, I'm really used to trading this coin now. Stock. I'm really used to trading it. It's extremely volatile, it's extremely risky, but it's the most rewarding stock that I've ever traded. And it literally, I do foresee us getting a move up here. Okay, I don't believe we're going to turn around straight away. So I'm laddering shorts between $80 and $86. Okay, for that retracement. Okay, this is hypothetically now, depending, where we move up here. Let's just say we get to the middle of around $85. It's hard for me to say where we're topping out at, obviously. It is impossible for me to say. But my target, once I've entered into my laddered shorts in this area, is firstly going to be taking profit at the 382. Okay, that 382, depending on where this moves up to. This is all obviously all going to be in the past now. Where you're looking here, but let's say we move up to $86, my top target. I will honestly be entering into very big 6-digit shorts here of the move down to the 0.382. Okay, that will be my target, and I have successfully traded S square off of just Elliott waves. Okay, just Elliott waves and Fibonacci for more than a year now, and honestly, this is the easiest stock I have ever traded in my life, and it is the most profitable stock that I've ever traded in my life because the Elliott wave counts and Fibonacci counts just line up extremely, extremely, extremely well. Okay, I'm not joking that it's extremely, really, really, really well that everything just lines up so nicely. Okay, so nicely here. Obviously, from the original low, if I just, oh, sorry, took the wrong thing there. If you wanted to do it from your original low to your top, we obviously came down to around the top of wave 3, $50 psychological, that 0.5 level, basically, seeing that 50% retracement down. And I'm trying to say all I've done is trade Elliott waves on this, and it's been so successful. People like to hate on Elliott waves, but they work. Okay, they really do. Sorry, I've just messed up my thing here. That's why I don't. So that's what I'm looking to do on SQ. Okay, why am I not shorting at the moment? Okay, let me just quickly cover this of why I'm not entering into a short right now. We have to break down wave 5. To break down wave 5, let's go down to, I don't want to go down that low, the 1 hour chart. Okay, we're going to have to actually go down a little bit lower. 30-minute chart, that will do. Okay, so what are we seeing here on wave 5? Where am I looking for the targets? Okay, we can see here that this is not wave 1. Okay, we're on a 30-minute chart, but this, you're not gonna, let's zoom down to the 15. Okay, basically there's not going to be a 5-wave structure in here with this gap. This is just going to be the 1 2. Okay, 1 2 of wave 1, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, then we get no retracement. Basically, it's really, really bullish. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. I mean, we still haven't got our retracement yet. But either way, any way you look at this, of a 1 2 3 4 5, but this isn't the one of the, this is now 1 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 1 2 3. Basically, it's extremely bullish. There's not really a bearish count that I can do here. Hence why I am waiting for upwards movements, and I'm laddering into this position, because as it stands right now, it doesn't look like it's going to turn around straight away. It really doesn't, to me, look like it's going to turn around off of this Elliott wave count. 1 2, obviously going back from the start, 1 2 3 4 5, the possibility of this ending up somewhere around here. And yeah, basically, just to give you now an overview of what I'm looking on SQ here, Square, that I am looking for shorts. Okay, I'm not looking for long positions here. Okay, I'm only looking for shorts as it stands, and it's going to be laddering from $80. Okay, $80, laddering that up. Okay, in this region up to $86. Okay, if we move above $86, I will take quite a big loss. If I'm honest here, I will take a loss. But because of how rewarding this stock has been to me, I'm not going to be too bothered. Okay. But yeah, I will take a strong loss if we move up past $86. But I cannot see it happening. Okay. I will take it my stops above this gap. Okay, you can see that there's a gap here, $88. So I'll have my stops just above $88. Um, you know, yeah, that's how I'm looking to play Square. I am honestly, confident in this. I don't see it breaking $86. Should it? Yes, I will be wrong. The first time in a while on SQ, but yeah, I don't see it happening. I do see this coming for its pullback. Okay, not being greedy. I will be laddering on the way down, taking my profits again, but of that overall $72 target. Okay, I do believe that we will get a pullback to this $72 target once the move is finished. Okay, just above. Okay, just above. Maybe at the start of this gap here. Okay, so between 74 and 72 is where I'd be looking for the pullback. Okay, $74 at the start of this gap, or down to the low of around $72 is where I would be looking for to take profits off this short. Um, um, yeah. I was gonna cover the S&P, but I have ran out of time. If I'm honest with you, sorry about today's lesson. Obviously, as you all know, thank you for your congratulations messages. Obviously, got engaged, so thank you all for the messages. I realised that tonight's live stream was really unplanned from my side of things, and that was just because I'm sure you can all appreciate it. It's kind of a one-off. But yeah, I got engaged, so then we obviously went away and decided to celebrate this. Um, you know. So that's why tonight's was so unplanned, because I had no time to decide what I'm going to be doing. Uh, Next week I will write up a lesson, so we'll start off like how I did last week with the first, say half an hour of lesson and actually learning something, and then the next half an hour going into some sort of technical analysis. I like starting off with a lesson. I think it adds a lot more. I don't know the right word, but I just personally think it's better if we start off with a lesson. So I want to do that. I want to start off next week with some sort of lesson, and then we will be moving on to a technical analysis of maybe half and half. But again, just really stressing so you all understand that, yeah, I literally had no time to plan it this week. My girlfriend, fiance, still actually isn't here, so I can speak for 5 more minutes until she comes and knocks on the door. She's actually in a spa right now, which is quite cool. I'm actually a guy that doesn't mind going to the spa, but I said no. I need to do this. I wanted to bring you all the live stream. I'll take a few minutes of questions if anybody has questions. Literally, as soon as she comes out, I'm gonna have to end it. Um, but I have a few minutes if anybody would like to double check some questions. Um, or if not, you don't have any questions, then I'll end it in a few minutes. I'll leave it up to you guys if you wanna, guys and girls, if you want to. Thanks, Dan, and congratulations. Did this week start earlier than usual, or is this the new time? Yeah, it started well, obviously in the UK, it started at 7 o'clock, so slightly earlier than normal. Um, to be honest, for me, it really doesn't normally make any difference when I start it. Um, but yeah, 7 o'clock is good for me most times, to be honest. Seven, half seven, around this sort of time. No worries, Dan. You've done a great, learned a lot. Enjoy your engagement weekend. Thank you so much, my friend. So we're going to Moulin Rouge. There's it's like a dance sort of singing thing. So I bought us tickets for Moulin Rouge tonight, so that should be cool. Like these sort of VIP box seats. I've been to Moulin Rouge before, and I sat just in the general bit, and today we got a VIP bit with champagne. You get your own personal sort of service. It seems really cool. So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. But I need to, that's starting in about an hour, so I have a time to get ready. But yeah, I can't really be live streaming while she's here. She was finished to end her spa at 8, so she'll probably just be coming up. But yeah, some people were saying that Paris was really dangerous at the moment, but I haven't seen a single problem. If I'm honest, there's been no problems at all in Paris. People were saying that there was problems here, but yeah, there's not. Wow, look at the VIX pullback. This is what I was bringing. I'm just going to really quickly go through VIX because this is something that I'm going to be trading on Monday. Okay, this is well, depending if I come back tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, I'll be trading this. That this was I was alerting people to the pullback as we were hitting $17. That this will get a pullback, and you see how it got a really strong pullback, like pullback as in on the downtrend you get the pullback up, and it pulled back up to the 236. Just look how perfect it was, and we're talking of a strong bounce here. 30% bounce up. I didn't catch it from the bottom, but I caught it from here, which was still a nice gain. 10% up to the 236, and then it's come back down for another double bottom right now. This is all going to depend how, in my opinion, how we start looking at US oil. What's this is obviously closed at the moment, so not much is happening. But if we start to pull back here, then VIX is going to be a really, really good buy, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not looking to catch a knife on VIX the same as I didn't the first time. But you miss. This is what I want to really stress. Why you don't look for catching knives. Or depending on the trade, occasionally I will catch a knife and buy it, but I have to be very confident on that level. We're looking here at the VIX. You could have caught a knife and been, catching a knife at $17, or you can wait for confirmation of breaking that downtrend, and then once you broke this downtrend of $19, then you can be entering into a long. Yes, you lose out on about half the profits. If you had caught a knife, you'd have been on 22% profits, or you could have lowered your risk substantially, waited for $19 to break, and then play it up to the 382, and that's still an extremely good opportunity, in my opinion. You can't worry about 10% when you've hardly got any risk. Okay, really, really little risk for a 10% gain. It's just like really easy trades up to the 382. And now from the 382, if oil starts to pull back, I do actually believe that we'll get a nice move up on VIX, to be honest. And that's how I see there's a really big correlation between the US oil and the stock market. And if US oil does that, then I will see this as happening. I hope to see this as us getting this ABC coming up like this, and we get a flat here. Okay, that's what I really want to see. It's nice because oil's going to open first, so I'll be getting an up view of this. But VIX is really, really volatile. Okay, it's like just your volatility index, but funnily enough, it's just had such a downtrend. And I'd like to see this B ending right here. We can see if we get some sort of expanded, but currently support at around $17.17 more or less. B, and then for a C coming up here. But yeah. Yeah, so what what I'm referring to is VIX's opposite. What I'm referring to is obviously here VIX saw a big uptrend starting at the 18th, so the 18th of January. VIX saw this big uptrend. Okay, then we refer back to oil here. What date did I say? Sorry, I've forgotten. We said 18th of January. We go back 18th of January, 18th of January, 18th of January. 18th of January, you see, oil started pulling back more so on the 21st, but you can see on the 18th, oil started topping out. Obviously, it started a really big pullback on the 21st, and let's just see on the 21st here. Okay, 21st. Okay, started pulling back on the 21st. I'm just trying to line up the dates here. And you see, so here we were. Oil started pulling back really strongly on the 21st, okay? And VIX started jumping up really strongly on the 22nd, okay? So that's the correlation I'm referring to, that oil pulled back, okay, really strongly here on the 22nd, okay? This is what I'm going to cover, and then I'm ending it, by the way, just to cover this quickly. But this for me is really important and makes for really, really easy trading on the stock market. Trading is for me at the moment easier on the stock market than Bitcoin. And I have way more capital in the stock market. But we're looking at here the pullback on VIX on the US oil, which gave an indication that the whole of the stock market was going to pull back, and this actually worked. Okay, so if you haven't checked. If you don't follow me on TradingView, then I occasionally post here. But the three calls that I made last week were SQ ready for the pullback. You all know SQ got that pullback. Okay, that was an absolutely perfect call. Then we saw BA, and this was all when the US oil pulled back prior to the market open. Okay, so US oil pulled back. I was expecting these pullbacks. The next call that I made was this to pull back to the $355 target. What happened? We pulled back to $355 target, hit that short exactly. Okay, my Tesla call as well was really successful with the long scalp up to $307, where you can see the candle hit $307. I don't want to blow my own horn, but just basically 3 calls that I actually posted and 3 calls of 100% trades. But all the reason when you can see these correlations, for instance here on the 21st, just to really reiterate. Oil pulled back really strongly starting on the 21st of January. Okay, you saw a really strong pullback on the 21st of January. What did that mean for me that when we start getting a pullback on oil, what's going to happen? Well, very, very likely we were going to get pullbacks happening on that 22nd of January. Also on our other markets on the stock market. Okay, and if we try and look to the 22nd of January, you can see here we obviously pulled back. You have to remember that this is going to be not a big percentage, but still saw this sort of 1%, 1.5% pullback, and that's million. That's such a big amount of market cap. You have to remember this is like billions of pounds. We saw that pullback, and that was just seeing a correlation between US oil. Okay, so if we add in US oil. Okay, look at this correlation that you'd start to see. So if you're not aware how this works, you should look at it because it's really good. So you can compare things and try and find correlations. Like I do this with Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's correlations between the two on cryptocurrency. I know most of you only trade crypto, but I think it's really important to have a good idea of the stock market. That we're seeing here, like the correlation between the two, that for me there was a clear correlation that when oil starts pulling back, the S&P started pulling back, and when oil saw its break upwards, you can just see how the correlation is. They're really strong to each other. Basically, and when oil started pulling back, this was the trade I'm referring to recently, that when oil pulled back prior to the market open on the 22nd here, okay, this pulled back before the market opened. We saw the pullback on oil, and then the S&P followed, or not just the S&P, but the stock market in general followed with pullbacks on that 22nd. Okay, and that was just simply looking at the correlation. Just really, really easy seeing the correlation, and it's something that you should probably take a look at, trying to work out and try and find your own correlations. But yeah, I really like trading that. Anyway, I'm gonna please do an Elliott wave lesson. Still having a hard time seeing the complex waves. Yeah, absolutely. I will do an Elliott wave lesson for you all. Without any doubt, I will do one. But all I would say to give you a tip, and this will be a one tip before I go. The tip that I will give you before I go is don't stress Elliott waves too much in terms of trying to find Elliott wave counts on Bitcoin. Like I kind of hinted at the start of the video, that the Elliott wave count right now on Bitcoin is really, really, really hard. And this is how I look at it. I could, if I really wanted to, spend, I don't know, 4 hours looking at the Bitcoin chart and getting an Elliott wave count in there. You could spend, just look at it like this. Would you rather spend several hours making an Elliott wave count of a coin, or would you prefer to flick through to another chart, and a chart where you can identify a count straight away and trade off of that? I personally, this is the way that I look at coins, okay? So coins, stocks, etc., the same theory applies to everything. If I look at something, just a random example, Coca-Cola. If I looked at Coca-Cola and I thought, God, I can't make an Elliott wave count in here with 10 seconds looking at the chart. I look 10 seconds, can I see a nice count in here? No. I will move on to the next one, Intel. Can I see a nice wave count in here? No. Okay, move on to the next one, Google. Can I see a nice wave count in here? Yes, actually I can. So then I would look at it like that. So if I'm looking, I don't want to waste my time making Elliott wave counts. Basically, you can get way too tunnel visioned by trading off of Elliott waves. Especially as a beginner, trying to make this count, which is probably going to have a mistake in, not being harsh, but it's likely that you'll have a mistake. And I personally think you're better off using your time on a more obvious chart. Okay, make a list like I've got here, and when you see a really nice Elliott wave count, and you can notice that Elliott wave count within 10 seconds of looking at the chart, then that's the one that you will trade. Okay, so for instance, if we're going back to Bitcoin, and I think here on Bitcoin, God, what is happening right now? This count is extremely complex. Okay, I come across to Tron and I think, this count is really easy, so I'll trade Tron. VeChain is really easy. Wow, look at that. VeChain is really easy. I'll trade VeChain. Bitcoin. Wow, this is really complex. Yes, I could spend some time trying to do this, but for me, my time is not worth spent trying to make Elliott wave counts of complex corrections. I much prefer to trade easier, more obvious Elliott waves, because you have to have that using resources of time versus easy counts where you can start making money straight away. That's how I look at it anyway, and I would kind of recommend to all of you that if you're looking at a complex correction, don't waste days, or not days, but don't waste half a day of 1, 2, 3, 4 hours trying to make a count. It's really not worth your time when on the cryptocurrency market you obviously have hundreds of coins that you have the opportunity of trading. Okay, obviously, yes, you can spend more time if you'd like, and that's what you want to improve on, then obviously it's worth it. But if you want to be trading, I personally would never waste my time making an account. I would prefer to just move on to the next one where I see the account, trade it, get the money sorted, and you're off to the games. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna end it here. Gonna have to run. Got Moulin Rouge starting at around 30 minutes. I have no idea when my flight is, but anyway, yeah, hope you've enjoyed tonight's video. Hope that it was beneficial. Again, apologies for the sort of the quickness, that there was no lesson plan into this one, but you'll understand the reasons why. Yeah, I will hopefully be back in England on Monday or Tuesday. I haven't bought a flight yet, but I'm going to be debating whether I come back on Monday or Tuesday. I honestly, I'm not too sure, or even if we go extended and go somewhere else. I kind of will play it from here. I actually have no idea whether we'll go back to England next or not. But whatever the situation, I'll keep you updated, and I will try and let you know, make that next week's lesson with next week's live stream with a lesson. Is what I want to say. Be that from here or be that from some other country, I have no idea. But yeah, basically, hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all next week. And I personally hope to be in England, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, hope you've all enjoyed. That is the end of the live stream, and yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you've taken away something. If you do have any questions, then we have the, obviously we all know we have the Discord on Discord. We have the student only chat, so if there's something here that you would like for next week's, and I'm always open to suggestions, etc, etc, etc. Just come along and let me know. This was funny that I saw people posting about the Twitch live stream, and that's why I needed to get someone to enter my house and read out, tell them my code. I gave away so much security telling them where my, anyway, I don't want to go into this, but yeah, I managed to get into here just because I knew so many people were watching my stream, were going to be on that Twitch. I could see from the chat that too many people knew about it, so I wanted to do this on YouTube, so it was only for Avid students and not everybody, basically. Anyway, thank you everybody. That's going to be wrapped up now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Thank you. Cheers.